This is Shivareddy. Welcome to the session on JConsole. In this session, we are going to look at what is meant by JConsole and how we are going to use JConsole as a monitoring tool to know the performance and resource consumption of a applications which are running on the Java platform. So JConsole is a graphical user interface which is compiles to the Java memory Java management extension specification. So JConsole is going to use extensive information about the instrumentation of the Java virtual machine to give information about the performance and resource consumption of a applications which are running on the Java platform. So basically using the JConsole, you are going to monitor the performance and the resource consumption of a applications which are running on the Java application. Now, in order to show the demo, what I am going to do is I am going to run one of my Java application, which is going to create a deadlock situation because I am going to show you how you can monitor the deadlocks happening in your application through the JConsole. So I am running as a Java application. Okay, so I have running this application. So this will be keep on running because it is happened. The deadlock situation occurs. So JVM is trying to keep on running this program. Now let us go ahead and start our JConsole monitoring tool. So the JConsole is by default it will comes as part of the Java standard edition. That means when you install the Java in your local computer, by default you will see the JConsole will comes as a tool. So how you can find whether you have the JConsole or not? Once you install the Java, just to go to the install directory of the Java. You can go inside of the bin folder, and here you can search for JConsole. So this is the tool or application which is going to help you to monitor the application of the to monitor the resource and performance resource consumption and the performance of your application which is running on the Java. So now in order to start JConsole, there are two ways you can start. One, if you are setting the environment variables for the Java home or the class path, then you can go to the any directory or the folder. You can directly open the command prompt. You can run as a JConsole through the command prompt. Or if you did set up the JConsole environment variables, then you can right click as in the Java install directory in the build folder. Right click, open a command prompt, and here you can click you need to enter a command as JConsole. Now the JConsole is going to start up with an GUI interface, that is Java Monitoring and Management Console. So this is the JConsole tool which is going to help you to monitor the performance resource consumption of a applications which is running on the Java platform. Now if you see here, when you start the JConsole, by default it is going to give you the list of Java applications which are running on your local computer. For example, in my case, I have started one of the Java program which is a Deadlock demo, which is taking the port ID as 3336. So this is the process which is keep on running in the background, which is the Java application. That is the reason when JConsole startup itself, it is going to list down the list of Java processes which are already running in your local. So that is what it is, the local process. Remote process means if you are trying to analyze an application, if you want to analyze an application which is running on the remote server, then you can provide the remote host details. That is, for example, in your case, it is host name colon port number, for example 9000. Now what happens is when you click on connect, you need to provide the username password also, because JConsole always run the processes which are executed by the current user. That means when you are logging into the Windows, you are going to provide the username and password. With that information, actually JConsole trying to search for the processes which are running for that user. But if you are trying to monitor an application or the process which is running by the different user, then JConsole cannot connect it. That is the reason. Make sure that whenever you are providing the remote process, then you need to provide the host name and port number, and also user credentials for the remote host where JConsole will go and connect it to that process, particular process or the application. Okay, now let us first start with the local process. So now what I'm going to do is I'm selecting the local processor Java program which is running on my local, and I'm clicking on the connect. Now what happens is JConsole is connected to this port number, the process which is running on the port 3336. And once the connection is happens, now what it is going to do is JConsole is going to take the lot of instrumentation information from the Java virtual machine, and it is trying to produce the report with the different views it is going to come up with. That is, first one is in the overview tab, you will go know that complete details of the heap memory usage and number of threads it is running in the background, and what are the number of the classes it is loading currently handling by the JVM, and also how much CPU utilization it is taking for the in order to execute the particular Java application. Now, if you see here one more option, we have an option for the time range. Now, by default, it is going to show all the information. But if you want to analyze for the past 5 minutes or the 10 minutes or 30 minutes, based on the time range, the graph is going to be differentiation. So you can monitor the performance or the resource consumption of a particular application based on the time you are going to choose. Based on that, the graphs whatever provided here, that is going to be changed. For example, if I say last 10 minutes, so then at 10 minutes, what is the information it is available? It is trying to fetch that information and it is projected in the graphs. Okay. So now we will go to the next tab. This overview, it is simple. It is going to give the high level details of the next tabs in a one screen. Now, for example, if you want to save this data to a particular file, then the JConsole it also supports the that format also. For example, now you want to save this data, then you can save this data in the form of the .csv file, and you can give any name here. For example, you can say memory details, and you can save this graph. Now what you can do is later if you want to collect this data and you want to project the data in the form of the spreadsheet, or you want to create a graphs in using the Excel or some spreadsheets, then using this information you can get it. And also when you export the file to this in the in the CSV file, then what might be happening here, you can see the different you can see the two or more columns. One column it is going to represent the timestamp, but you will see the timestamp in a number. So in order to convert to the particular date in the Excel sheet, you should go and select as a day. You need to convert that particular number into the date format so that you can see the what is the date and what is the memory utilization happening here. So that is the only one point you need to remember, because whatever you are exporting here, it will come as a timestamp will come as a numbers, but you need to convert when you are projecting in the spreadsheet, you need to convert that number into the date format. Then you can see that what is the date form and what is the date, and also date and a particular timestamp and the corresponding memory utilization. You can see that. That is the only point we need to remember when you are exporting and you are trying to use in the different spreadsheet or the different applications. Now, when we go to the memory tab, this will give you the complete information about the memory consumption happening to execute the particular application or the process where you are trying to monitor the monitor the process. Now what happens is, in the case of Java, we will have a different type of memories it is going to allocate. That is the heap memory usage. Heap memory usage is basically when you create any object in the Java, or when you create in a Java, that will be allocated in the using the heap memory. So this is the heap memory representation, the graph. That means heap memory utilization to execute the particular program whatever we are currently monitoring. And also parallel to this, we will have a different memory usages. The PS Eden space. So Eden space is basically the pool from which memory is initially allocated for the most of the objects is known as a Eden space. So this is the Eden space is going to be the this will show the graph about the how Eden space is consumed. And then we will have a survivor space also. We have one more option, that is survivor space. So the pool contains the objects that have survived the garbage collection of the Eden space. So garbage collector keep on trying to remove the unused or the unreferenced objects. So that information we can find out from this screen. So like that, if you want to monitor particular space memory pool where you are where it is trying to take the more memory, then by using these charts you can come to know. At any point of time you want to save the data, it is still fine. You can go ahead and save this graphs this data in the form of the CSV file you can use for the later point of time. And also if you see the detail section below, you can see that what is the time currently current time, and used memory. Used is nothing but how much memory it is used for particular memory pool you have selected, and also committed max memory which is going to use. And also max is committed is nothing but it will make sure that this much amount. JVM always make sure that that much memory is allocated to execute this particular process particular space. And also max is how much max space it can allocate, it can extend by the JVM. And GC time is while GC time is basically garbage collection time, as when our unreferenced objects are trying to more and more, then what happens is garbage collector keep on clean up all those unused objects. So how much time it is taking, and what is the algorithm it is going to use to clean up the unused objects also, you can find from here. So basically this memory tab, it will give you the complete information about the different memory pools which are used while by the JVM and garbage collector. Okay, and then we will go for the threads. Threads basically will tells you about the number of the threads currently it is running on the system. And here you can see the two lines, one is with the red line, another one is the blue line. Red line is always gives you complete details about the peak number of the threads available when you start monitoring the application. And second one is the blue line. Blue line is gives you information about the currently active threads or live threads available to process the information. And also you will see the below threads, whichever it is active, like it 11 13 threads are active, then below threads you can see these are the threads which are currently active in the application, or where you are monitoring the application or the process. And one more thing, you can have an option to detect the deadlock. So one of the main advantage of the JConsole is you can validate, or you can confirm using the JConsole whether your application will have any deadlocks or not. You can check that. In order to check the deadlock, just click on the deadlock detect deadlock button. Then it is going to provide you the, if there is any deadlocks happening in your in your application, then it is going to give you the details about the deadlocks, how many deadlocks are available in your application. And with the complete information you will get that. If you see here, it is going to give the stack trace about that information also. Because in order to show this demo, I created one deadlock situation program, and I am trying to show you that it is possible to monitor using the JConsole. You can come to know that if there is any deadlocks happening in your application. And then we will go for the classes. Classes basically will tells you the complete information about how many classes it is loaded by the JVM at any point of time, and also if there once the application is trying to keep on okay, working, and how many classes it might be unloaded and then loaded, that information you can see from here. Here there are two things. Here in this case we see only one line, that is a blue color, but still there is a possibility that even red color also comes. Red color line will tell you that what is the maximum or max classes loaded while execution of the program. And blue line is always tells you about the currently how many classes it is loaded by the JVM. And if there is any unloaded classes is there, then at the bottom detail section you can see that information also. Okay, so this will tell you about the how many, it will tell you about the complete information about the classes loading and unloading while you are trying to monitor the particular application. And then we will go for the VM summary. This will give you the complete information about the Java JVM. The first thing is you can see that what is the connection name where you have connected to the particular PID, and then you are trying to we are trying to monitor the performance resource consumption of particular thread or particular process, that we will call as a deadlock demo. This is the Java application I am trying to run in my local. In real time, what happens is whichever application you want to connect, you are going to provide that that process name here, that complete URL or the remote host name, it will come here. And then you will see here about the uptime. That means once you start the JConsole, how much time it is trying to keep on monitoring the application, it is nothing but the uptime. And virtual machine, which type of virtual machine we are using, that is the Java hotspot 64-bit server. And process CPU time, while we are started JConsole, how much CPU time is executed to execute our Java application, it is nothing but the process CPU time. And vendor JIT compiler and the total compile time is, it is about the complete details. And then it is going to give you about the live threads is 13 and peak hour it is 14. And daemon thread are nothing but background threads which are supportive threads which is going to help you to run the Java virtual machine. These are the 10, and total threads started is at a 15. And currently loaded classes is 1691, and total classes loaded also 1691, and total classes unloaded is 0. And if we come to the memory details, that is current heap size is going to be 18,322 kbytes, and max heap size it can allocated is the this much. And committed memory is nothing but the JVM always make sure that this much memory is always allocated to execute that particular program. And then um, garbage collector, we have a two we garbage collector is nothing but the process which is trying to which is trying to clean up the unused memory objects, is nothing but the garbage collection will be taking care of that. And if while we are executing our program, how many times the garbage collector has collected the how many times it has run and how many objects it has collected, that information we can find from this garbage collector. And the next tab will be about the operating system details, and complete details about the operating system and about the process, and what is the space it is available here, and that information you can get it. And the bottom section is about the VM arguments and class path, and complete information you can see from the below section. So this is, and next one is the mbins. It is basically about the memory management, which is going to give you complete details about the management and the garbage collector memory, all these things. Okay, so this is at the high level about the what is the main purpose of the JConsole and how to use it. And one more thing is, at any point of time, you can see the right hand side at the top, you will see one green color button. This is nothing but the connected. If you want to disconnect at any point of time, you can go ahead and click on it. It will be disconnected. And again, if you want to connect, you can connect it. So it will be connected again. At the same time, you can open the number of new connections also. For example, if you want to connect it to the new connection, if you want to monitoring the different application, then click on the new connection. Here, either you can choose as a local process or the remote process, and again you can provide the details. Then it will connect it to the different machine. So at any point of time, you can connect it to the different new connections and different process, different applications you can monitor at the same time. So this is all about the JConsole. And one point, the important point here is that please make sure that JConsole is for the not for the production. When you are trying to connect to the remote host, don't make remote connection process for the production systems, because JConsole itself it is going to consume lot of resources of the JVM in order to provide all the information whatever available on this J monitoring and the management console screen. Hence, the main purpose of the JConsole is like you can use this one for the development and creating some prototypes, and you can analyze your code or the application locally. But if you are trying to use for the production systems, it will be consume lot of information, instrumentation information about the JVM, which may degrade the performance of the application. Hope you are clear with the JConsole monitoring tool. And if you have any questions, please comment on my YouTube video. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel to get more technical videos. Thanks for watching.